Suicide is an invisible epidemic now. There can be multiple reasons that can contribute to suicide or suicidal thoughts. They can be social, they can be economic, they can be psychological, they can be clinical conditions that can contribute to suicide. Among students, the pressure of academics, the uncertainty of their career, and parental expectation are very predominant factors contributing to their suicidal thoughts and pushing them to the edge. For professionals, I think unemployment and financial crunch, work-life imbalance can be very taxing on them, and it can push them towards suicide. Across age groups, one can see that interpersonal conflicts are a very heavy or a very important contributor to suicidal thoughts and the act of suicide. Homemakers who have been especially a vulnerable group, and they are a high-risk group, we would say. For them, domestic violence, interpersonal conflicts, and also lack of respect can contribute to suicide. There are multiple psychological reasons for suicide. The inability to handle pressures of daily life, the inability to handle long-standing stress, the inability to identify trauma, unaddressed trauma. These factors can contribute to us having suicidal thoughts or opting for suicide. One very important reason would be not to be able to share our emotions freely and express ourselves and communicate with people around us, our family, our relatives, our friends. So that can help make us feel extremely isolated. And when we feel isolated, we want to quit. So that is a very predominant factor. Technology, where on one hand it has brought us together and connected us very well, I think it's also a very important reason for us feeling alienated from each other and not making real connections. So that can be a contributing factor, because that creates a lot of loneliness amongst all age groups. We are identifying loneliness now, and there are people who are really quitting because they are feeling extremely lonely. Depression or anxiety, long-standing unaddressed depression or anxiety or any other mental health condition can lead to suicidal thoughts repetitively and can push people towards suicide. A lot of exposure to social media, where there is constant comparison, where there is constant feeling of inadequacy, constantly feeling that you're not doing enough, and getting the fear of missing out, FOMO as they say, that can really push us to suicidal thoughts also. First thing would be to be able to recognize and identify the symptoms that can lead to suicide. So if we are feeling low energy, or we are feeling sad, or we are feeling dysfunctional, or we have not been able to be as productive or be as active as we would have liked to be, then those are signs and symptoms that we need to recognize to be able to prevent the suicidal thoughts. Secondly, I think it is very important that we create an ecosystem around us, an ecosystem or a support system made up of friends, family, relatives, people, even therapists. If you have a therapist who can be in your support system, who you can reach out to, communicate and express your emotions very freely and understand how to deal with those emotions. I think one of the major things to do is that if we get a persistent feeling of these symptoms, then we need to have that awareness that we need to, reach a mental health professional as soon as possible. 10 things I think we should definitely help the youngsters keep as a psychological first aid kit for themselves. One is, if you're in a toxic relationship, you must recognize it as soon as possible and help yourself get out of it. If you are unable to get out of it on your own, then seek professional help who can help you navigate through it. And by toxic relationship, I mean where you're not feeling good in the relationship, you're not feeling respected, and you have somebody who is not helping you feel good about yourself. If there is a persistent feeling of anxiety or anger, irritability, low mood, mood swings, crying spells for more than 15 days, it's time to see her mental health professional. Do not delay this anymore, because once you delay it, it becomes more complicated and it can lead to suicidal thoughts also. If you're feeling too much pressure about your job, about your academics, about your financial state, about your career prospects, please communicate and share with someone you can trust who can help you navigate through this. Your gadget exposure, if it can be kept to a minimum. I know there are many people, youngsters out there who are in IT jobs, and they are sitting in front of their laptops throughout the day. But it is very important for them to take a break, refresh themselves, do some very active breathing exercises which can help replenish the oxygen levels in your body and help your brain and your mental health recover from constant gadget exposure. I think it is very important to have minimum engagement with social media, because as I said, social media can influence our thoughts very negatively. It can make us feel inadequate. We are constantly making comparisons with people out there who are actually showing the best that they can, and we don't really know what happens in their personal lives. So we are looking only at the best and the excellent sides of their lives, but we don't know how to kind of apply it to ourselves. We have to learn to build healthy lifestyles, healthy routines with good nutritious food and with sleep, which can help us invigorate ourselves better. One very crucial thing which we have seen in youngsters is they make the Google their doctor. So we have to stop making Google our doctor. As they say, Google doctor always misleads, and there is too much information out there, so we don't know what information we are really keeping for ourselves, and in the process probably complicating our mental health. And if we are looking for those signs and symptoms, we don't know. I mean, I can give you an example on this, that one of our clients came and told us that, ma'am, I think I have bipolar and schizophrenia. So if you are doing that, then you are in trouble. You have to, one of the options can also be that you can opt for proactive therapy. Proactive therapy means that you, without really facing any issues, you opt for therapy where you can understand your patterns better, understand your moods better, understand your triggers better, and that helps you become more confident about yourself when you're engaging with life or with people. The focus that you have in your life, if you can keep it mostly by and large on your sleep hygiene that needs to be kept in place. If you can if you can opt an outdoor sport, if you can opt for an outdoor sport as a habit, and you can develop hobbies for yourself as an act of release for yourself, your release of your emotions, release of your energy, that will really help you with your mental health. And I think finally it would be that don't always think every point or everything in your life is a life and death situation. This is only a moment. It is going to pass. It is a transitory phase. So let's not believe that this is the end of the world. Till Putin doesn't press the nuclear button, the world is still going to be there. Thank you.